अरिहंत सिद्ध सूर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते पईचो भक्ति काय को नमाय स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुमी से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। मंगलमय मंगल करण वीतराग विज्ञान नमो ताहि जाते भये अरिहंतादि महान। करि मंगल करि हो महा ग्रंथ करण को काज जाते मिले समाज सब पावे निज पद राज। मोक्ष Marg Prakashak by Pandit Todarmal ji, and we are discussing chapter 3, and today we are going to start a new topic in chapter 3, miseries from embodied modification point of view. Earlier we discussed miseries from the karma's point of view. Now we are going to discuss this from the point of view of our embodied form. So those are one sensed being, two sensed being, three sensed being, fourth sense, and five sense. Again, five sense beings are of two types. One is uh, rational, those who have mind, and other one is irrational, those who are without mind. Although they are also five sense being, and there are some animals who are five sense being, but they are of both types, rational also and irrational also, like snake, like toad. So those are with mind also and without mind also. There are some other animals also who are of both types. So we discussed root causes of miseries from the karma's bondage point of view, and now the second topic is miseries from the embodied modification point of view. Now the same miseries means those that were explained earlier through the medium of karmas. Now we are explaining the same kind of miseries from the embodied modification point of view. So the first one is miseries of one sensed being. Just imagine that you have only one sense, and that is touch sense. Nothing else. No taste, no smell, no, you cannot see anything, and just the touch taste. So those are one sensed being. If it is a two sense being, then it is touch plus taste. If it is three sense being, then it is touch, taste, smell. If it is four sense being, then it is touch, taste, smell, and view or through eyes. And if it is a fifth, five sensed being, then it is touch, taste, smell, seeing, sparsh, ras, gandh, varna, listening by ear. Okay. So these are the five senses. So there could be five senses being with mind and without mind. Those who are without mind, they cannot put in any kind of efforts for their spiritual upliftment or development. Only those five sensed beings who have a mind with them, they are only capable of manifesting right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. And that is what matters when we think in terms of our spiritual upliftment and liberation. Okay. So we are now discussing the miseries of one sensed being, just only one sense, and lot of miseries which we cannot comprehend also. There will be one line that we will read in the next page, that the one sensed being, they alone experience their misery and the omniscient knows it. So they only know it and the omniscience know it. We cannot make out the kind of miseries they are going through. Okay. So let's discuss this miseries of one sense being, and this knowledge will help us not to manifest any kind of disposition which leads us to one sensed being. Because once we have understood the miseries of one sensed being, in fact, nobody would like to go there, such a horrible state. So let's read it. The description is a bit longer, but they have also described here 8 karmas. From the viewpoint of 8 karmas, what are the miseries? Okay. So that I will point out as you read. Okay. So, Priyanka ji, I will make you a co-host. Or you are from phone?
Sir, I'm on my iPad, so I can share.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Co-host. Okay. So, who is this with iPhone? Subhaji?
Sir, myself, I'll change the name, Sarshikala.
So you only read.
Which 82, no?
86. The miseries
86.
of one sensed being.
Yeah. In this universe, most from there only, no?
Yeah.
In this okay, I'll read it from. I'm reading from the. Okay, let us share so that other people can see.
You start. No problem.
In this universe, most of the time is spent in one sense to embodied modifications only. Therefore, assuredly, from the beginningless time, jivas are found living in the Nitya Nigoda state, and getting out from there is like jumping out of a grain from the baking cauldron. Thus, after coming out from there, the jiva attains other embodied modification. There in the Trisa Paryaya, mobile beings having 2 or more senses, the jiva lives for a very short duration. Most of the time is spent in one sensed embodied form. There in Ether Nigoda, he lives for a very long period, and for quite some time he lives in earth, water, fire, air, and gross vegetables bodies. After getting out from Nitya Nigoda, the maximum period of living in Thresa, that is mobile beings, bodies is 2000 and a little more sagars only. And maximum period of living in one sensed being is innumerable Pudgal Paravartans only. And the period of one Pudgal Paravartan itself is such that it infinitesimal part of it, infinite saga are found, my God. So mainly the period of this mundane being is passed in one sense the bodies only.
Stop.
Therein,
Stop.
okay,
so in one sensed being, there are 5 hours, this earth, water, fire, air, and gross vegetables. Gross vegetables means pratyek vanaspati. Now there is also one more category. Okay, pratyek vanaspati, and the other one is sadharan vanaspati. And that sadharan vanaspati is called nigod. So nigod is lowest form of one sensed invisible life. Lowest forms of one-sensed invisible life, that is Nigod. So it is again a kind of vegetable only, like that we have in potato, then in garlic. All these beings are Nigod beings, Sadharan Vanaspati. Okay. So those are general or common vegetables. Okay. So this is all one-sensed being, and among the one-sensed being, this is the worst part to get born in this Nigod state. Minimum age there is 10,000 years, and maximum could be a very, very long period. And in this universe, most of the time is spent in one-sensed embodied modification only. So just imagine that our maximum time is spent in one-sensed being. Okay. Getting into two-sensed is again a very rare kind of thing, and getting three-sensed is more rare. Fourth is more rare, and fifth is more rare, and again getting a mind with five senses again a very rare. And again in that also human life is again very rare. And if you get a human life, then getting this true God, true scriptures, and true monk is again a very rare thing. And even if you get that, to have interest in kind of studies of this kind is again very rare. And if you have an interest also, then there must be somebody to explain you, teach you. So again, that is very rare. And again, uh, everything is there, and your interest is also there, and somebody is there to teach you also. Still, you have to put in special efforts to understand those. So it's all rarest to rare of things, and it's our very good fortune that we are having all these conditions. You can imagine that we have cleared all the rounds. Now we are into the final round, and just only Moh is standing between us and the liberation. So when you destroy this Monya karma, the king of all karmas, okay, then all the other karmas will go away automatically. So our motive should be to capture, to destroy this Moh karma. Okay, so most of the time is spent in one-sensed embodied modification. There can be no efforts. Even a five-sensed being without mind cannot put in any effort. They are all without efforts. They cannot put in any effort. Only five-sensed being with mind can put a perfect effort. So these are all very rare. So there are again in one sense being, as I said, there are two types of vegetables. One is gross vegetable and another one is the common vegetable. So that common vegetable is called Nitya Nigod. Nitya means permanently, and Nigod means lowest form of one sensed invisible life. You cannot see through your eyes this one sensed being, So that is Nitya Nigod. So that is the time where this soul spends its time, Nitya Nigod. They never come out of that. There are many souls in this universe who are into Nitya Nigod. They will never come out. And then there are some kinds of souls who come out of Nigod, and again he travels through earth, water, fire, air, gross vegetables, and then he moves on to Thras, and that duration is 2000 and a little more sagars. So sagars is also is called ocean years. Okay. So these are all a very long period. As you have seen that maximum period of living in one sense being is innumerable Pudgal Paravartans. Paravartans is the transmigration and Pudgal is matter. Okay. So matter transmigrations only, and the period of one Pudgal Paravartan itself is such that in infinitesimal part of it, infinite sagars are found. So just imagine one sagar is a very huge period, and there are infinite part of this sagars, infinite sagars are found in one Pudgal Paravartan. So mainly the period of this mundane being is passed in one sensed being, one sensed body only. So that is the maximum type. In Chadala, it is said, you have already studied Chadala, that getting out of this one sense being and getting a thrust paryay is as rare as getting a Chintamani Ratan, magical gems. Whatever you think, you get it. That is called Chintamani Ratan. And to get that Ratan is so rare. Similarly, to get a thrust paryay, two sense and above beings, is again a very, very rare thing. Okay. So now we will be discussing about what this one sense being have in terms of Jnana Varana, Darshana Varana, then Monia, then Monia also there are two parts, faith deluding karma and conduct deluding karma. Both kinds of Monia will discuss. And of course, there will be Antray, and after Antray, there will be the four non-obscuring karma, aghati karmas. Okay. So first is Vedniya, then we have Ayu, okay, that is life karma. Then we have Nam karma, that is physical uh, physical form of karma. And there is this Gotra karma. Okay. So these are the five. So we will be discussing on 8 parameters that what a one sensed being goes through because of the rise of these 8 karmas. Okay. So Priyanka ji, you read only. There in one sense.
There, in one sense beings, the manifestation of power of knowledge and perception is found in extremely poor measure. Those one sensed beings know and see only a little bit of cold and heat, etc., through Mati Gyan, that is sensory knowledge, produced by the instrumentality of touch sense, and through Shut Gyan, that is the knowledge derived through Mati Gyan, and through non-ocular perception pertaining to touch sense. Owing to the intense rise of knowledge obscuring and perception obscuring karmas, the manifestation of knowledge and perception is not found. More than this, but the desire of enjoying the objects is found, due to which they are extremely miserable. And owing to the rise of darshan moha, that is faith deluding karma, perverse belief is found, due to which they believe the embodied modification only to be the self. They possess no other thinking power. Further, due to rise of charitra moha, that is conduct deluding karma, they are found imbued with intense anger passion, etc. For the omniscient Lord has revealed that they only possess black, blue, and grey type of 3 inauspicious lasyas, that is thought complexion, and those are found only during the rise of intense passions. There, in that state of existence, the passions are more, but the manifested power is extremely poor in all respects. Therefore, they are experiencing extreme misery, but there is no go. Question. Since their knowledge is extremely poor rather than negligible, how do they indulge in passions? Answer. There is no such rule that the degree of passions should be in accordance with the knowledge. The power of knowledge is found in accordance with Shayupshama. For example, a blind and deaf person possessing less power of knowledge is found having more passion. Similarly, it is agreed to that the one sense beings having the very less power of knowledge can have high degree of passion. Further, the external passion gets exhibited then only when one exerts according to one's internal passion, but they are strengthless. Therefore, they cannot make any effort. Due to this, their passion is not visible. For example, some person is weak and due to some reason he has intense passion but cannot do anything. So his passion is not visible outwardly, but he feels very unhappy. Similarly, the one sensed beings are powerless. Due to some reason, they have passion but cannot do anything. So their passion is not visible outwardly and they themselves become miserable. So, shall I continue?
Yeah.
It is to be known that wherever the passion is more, the strength of the strength is less, the anguish is more. And gradually, as the passion diminishes and strength increases, then accordingly the anguish goes on lessening by. But the one sensed beings have more passion and less strength. Therefore, one sensed beings are extremely miserable. They alone experience their misery, and the Omniscient knows it. For instance, the knowledge of a hysteric patient gets lessened, and due to external weakness, he may also not be able to express his sufferings, but he is extremely distressed. Similarly, the knowledge possessed by one sensed beings is less, and due to weak external strength, they cannot express their anguish but experience extreme anguish. And due to intense rise of antaray karma, the desired objectives do not materialize much. On account of this also, they are extremely distressed. Further, in aghati karmas, the rise of pap prakriti, that is vice karmas, is predominant. There, on getting the rise of asata vedaniya, they feel extremely miserable owing to its instrumentality. The vegetables are broken by wind pressure, get dried by cold and heat, are also dried in want of water, are burnt by fire. Someone pierces them, cuts them, crushes them, eats them, breaks them. Such various conditions are found. Similarly, the one-sensed earth beings, etc., undergo all such possible conditions. Because of persistence of all those conditions, they feel extremely distressed. As pain is caused in human body on facing above stated conditions, similarly, one-sensed beings also experience pain. Since knowledge of these conditions is caused through touch sense, and they do possess touch sense, knowing them through it, they feel extremely distressed, being overpowered by delusion. But they do not have strength of feeling, fighting, or of crying. That is why the ignorant people do not know their miseries. And by any chance, a little rise of sata may be found, but it is not strong. Further, owing to ayu karma, in these one-sensed beings, those who are aparyaptas, the duration of their life, paryay, is only 1/18th part of the time of one respiration, and that of paryaptas, the life duration is found varying from one antarmuhurat to many years. There being very short span of age karma, the birth and death continue incessantly, and owing to this, they remain miserable. They always remain miserable. So, shall I continue?
Yes, yes. Another 3 paragraphs.
Okay. In named karma, the rise of Tiryansh Gati, etc., inauspicious prakritis only is particularly found. Even if some weak auspicious prakriti may come to rise, it is not strong. Therefore, in their existence also they remain miserable due to the influence of moha. In Gotra karmas, only the rise of low status determining karma exists. Therefore, they do not get respectability, and as such, they are unhappy only. In this way, the one-sensed beings are extremely miserable. As in this world, the stone having some base remains resting for a long time, but in the baseless space, that is sky, it rarely remains for a very short duration. Similarly, jiva remains in the state of one sensed beings for a very long time, but in other forms of existence, he sometimes remains for a very short duration. Therefore, the jiva is extremely miserable in this world.
Bas. So you see, with one example, you can understand the whole state of one sensed being. That this example of that if a stone having some base or support on which it is lying, then it remains for a long time. But if that stone is put in the sky, then it will quickly come down. How long it will take to, it will remain there in the air? Very few seconds, it immediately will come down. Similarly, Jeev remains in the state of one sensed being for a long time. As the stone was there with the support, okay, it was there for a long duration. But if you throw it towards sky, it will immediately come down. But in other forms of existence, he sometimes remain for a very short duration. Therefore, the jiva is extremely miserable in this world. So the one sense being are the extremely miserable. So now you just mark it along with the all the karmas, Jnanavaran and Darshanavaran. It's in the first paragraph, page number 86 that we begin with. The last paragraph in 86. There in one sense being the manifestation of power of knowledge and perception. Okay. So these they are discussing from the viewpoint of first two karmas, Jnanavaran and Darshanavaran. Knowledge obscuring karma, perception obscuring karma. Okay. So they have very little knowledge and perceptions, and they have got only touch sense, and through that touch sense only the sensory knowledge and the scriptural knowledge. Shrudgyan is also called scriptural knowledge, and in terms of perception, they have non-ocular perception only pertaining to the touch sense. So very little knowledge and very little perception. And owing to the rise of knowledge obscuring and perception obscuring karmas, the manifestation of knowledge and perception is not found more than this, but the desire of enjoying the object is found, due to which they are extremely miserable. So they don't have the means, but their desire is there, and because of that desire, they are extremely miserable and they are suffering like anything. And owing to the rise of 3A, Mohniya, Darshan Moh, faith deluding karma, perverse belief is found, due to which they believe the embodied modification only to be the self. They don't know what is soul and what is this body. They possess no other thinking power. So up to five sensed being without mind, they don't have thinking power. So it's only a one-way traffic, the rise of the karma, and they have to suffer. Rise of the karma and they have to suffer. No efforts can be put in any of the life of up to five sensed being. Only when you have a mind, you can put in efforts, you have thinking power, you have choice, everything you can exercise, and that is the time that your efforts are fruitful. Now, due to rise of Mohniya karma, uh, that one sense being indulges in intense anger passion. Okay. For the omniscient Lord has revealed. So it is not something that we can make out. It is just because the omniscient Lord has revealed that they only possess black, blue, and gray type of three inauspicious lasias. Now, what is this lasia? This lasia is again a kind of passion, intense passion, thought complexions. Okay. And those are found only during the rise of intense passions. So there are six lasias in all. Three are inauspicious and three are auspicious. So this one sense being is having all the three inauspicious only. So they are found with intense passions. Therefore, in that state of existence, the passions are more, but the manifested power is extremely poor in all respect. Therefore, they are experiencing extreme misery, but there is no way out that they can escape. There is no way they can escape. There is no way they can be saved. They have to suffer. And these are not coming on its own. It's because of their past karmas. So what we can do by understanding the state of a one-sense being, that we should not indulge in such activities which binds karma, that we get birth in one-sense being. Okay. Now question, since their knowledge is extremely poor, rather negligible, how do they indulge in passion? So the Pandit Todamalji replies that there is no rule that the degree of passion should be in accordance with the knowledge. The power of knowledge is found in accordance with Shapsham, the, the portion that is the portion of Jnana Varna Karma that is opened. Okay. And through that part, the soul is able to know. For example, a blind and deaf person possesses less power of knowledge because he is already blind and deaf. He could not listen and could not see. Is found having more passion, but he could have more passion. So there is no correlation between the knowledge and the passion. Similarly, it is agreed to that the one sense being having very less power of knowledge can have high degree of passion. So these trees are so stationary in the garden, but they are undergoing intense passions every moment. So this is all being seen by the omniscient, and that omniscient only has revealed these facts, It's not somebody's imagination, but it is directly from the omniscient Lords has revealed this. Further, the external passion gets exhibited then only when one exerts according to one's own internal passion. But they are strengthless, so they cannot express their passions, but they are suffering from intense passion, but it is not visible from outside because they are not able to express it because of their less strength, because they are strengthless. For example, some person is weak and due to some reason he has intense passion but cannot do anything because he is weak. So his passion is not visible outwardly, but he feels very unhappy. Similarly, the one sense beings are powerless due to some reason they have passion but cannot do anything. So their passion is not visible outwardly and they themselves becomes miserable. Now that famous line is coming up. It is to be known that whenever the passion is more and the strength is less, the anguish is more, the misery is more. And gradually as the passion diminishes, so that's got a direct relation, our anguish and the misery, they have got a direct relation with the passion. If the passion diminishes, the misery diminishes. If the passion increases, the misery increases. And when the passion diminishes, the strength increases, then accordingly the anguish goes on lessening by and by. But the one sense being have more passion and less strength, therefore one sense being are extremely miserable. Now this line you should mark it. When we were doing this course from Jaipur, correspondence course, Mukt Vidyapit. At that time they used to give us some lines from the scriptures, and they used to say this is being said in what context and what is the meaning of this line. And this line was very famous, we used to get in our question paper. They alone experience their misery. They means one sense being, and the omniscient knows it. Nobody else can make out what kind of sufferings they are going through. For instance, the knowledge of a hysteric patient gets lessened, and due to external physical weakness, he may also not be able to express his suffering, but he is extremely distressed. Okay. So similar is the one sense being. Now the fourth one, Antarai karma. This paragraph deals with Antarai karma. And due to rise of Antarai karma, the desired objectives do not materialize much. On account of this also, they are extremely distressed. Now the Agati karmas. The first one is Asata Vednya 5a. So the rise of because of the rise of Asata Vednya, they feel extremely miserable owing to its instrumentality. Okay. So Asata Vednya is predominant, and they bring in all kinds of suffering. The vegetables are broken by wind pressure, gets dried by cold and heat, are also dried in want of water. All these, this vegetable, one vegetable having one life, that only we consume. We don't consume the vegetables which has got innumerable lives in it. Okay. But still, this one vegetable has got one life, and when you do this kind of activity, get dried by cold and heat, when you keep it in the freeze, they all suffer, are burnt by fire. Someone pierces them, cuts them, crushes them, eats them, breaks them. All these they are suffering. Such various conditions are found. Similarly, one sense earth beings also suffer. When you dig that earth, they suffer like anything. Similarly, fire. So fire is also again a one-sensed being, and they also suffer heavily. So it is best that we don't unnecessarily fire up something, because the fire is also a living being. Then we have Vayukai. It was mentioned here, no? Somewhere. So earth we discussed, fire we discussed, then Vayukai is air. So again, air, when aeroplane goes through air, this one sense being gets killed. And water also. So we should use water also very judiciously, not just switching on the shower and bathing for long duration. That is not advisable. You should always take bath by filling up one bucket of water and then putting a rod, heating rod. We don't use geysers, because in geysers, the unfiltered water goes there, and when you heat it up, all the one sense being dies. So we always used this bucket, and we first filter the water through that filter cloth, 2 levels filter cloth, and after that only we put the heater. So all the souls have been saved. So this was about faith and passion deluding karma, and now we move on to this one, aghati karmas, asata vednya we were talking about. So all these sufferings that one sense being undergoes. And as far as Sata Vedya is concerned, it is very rarely found, and that also for a very little duration, and it is not strong. Then the next is Ayu Karma. So their age is very less of one sense being, and in that, the one which are aparyapt, so their duration of life is only 1/18th part of the time of one respiration. Okay. 18th part of one respiration. So in one respiration, they take birth and death 18 times. Just imagine. And that is the biggest sin of all, getting death is the biggest sin. biggest misery, I would say. Okay. So their life duration is very less. And that of Paryapsa, the life duration is found varying from 1 Antarmurat, that is 1 Antarmurat is maximum 48 minutes, to many years. So they are both kind of one sense being. We have Aparyaps and Paryaps. Aparyaps are those who have not attained completion of the molecules forming the body and the development of body, sense organ, respiratory organ. Those are aparyapt. And the paryapt, those who have attained completion of the body, sense organs. Now you must have seen some film or some diagrams in books that how a human life develops in the mother of a womb. So initially the life comes through combination of sperm and what it is called. I don't remember. So it's a mixture of those, the male and the female sperm. Okay. And there the life comes. So as the mother eats, that life goes on developing, and then he gets gradually, one by one, that life develops. So first he gets the, I think, limbs, and then so this is how the completion of the body. So I think from the time it gets, the life comes into that womb, it takes 2 months or two
No,
and a
sir.
half months.
And the formation will complete all 6 periods in 48 minutes. Then growth will happen that according to the jivas, this type. 9 months for Manushya, like that. But
Okay.
the completion of Pariyarya 6, no, it will happen within 48 minutes.
But here it is written that
Sir, after formation of that 6 Paryapta completion,
see after the
time it
Paryapti
take
is
for
the
the growth
life
of the
duration,
body.
the life Acha, okay.
Body,
Yeah.
baby will take 9 months. Other eggs types, no, they will take 3 months, like that.
Okay.
But
So
that
if in case of a human life,
9 months.
9 months is the complete.
Yeah.
Complete. But the Paryaptis take only Antarmurat? I don't
Yes,
think
sir.
so.
For all jivas, according to full Paryapta, that is Paryapta, within 48 minutes, everything will be completed. First body, then that third is sutras, then last month.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So this is about the Ayu Karma, and then Nam Karma, physic forming karma. So they get all the associations of body and other kinds of things. And in Gotra Karma, the status determining karma, the one sense being get all the low status only. Okay. And in Nam Karma, they get all the inauspicious prakritis are of Nam Karmas. So much of suffering due to all 8 kinds of form. In this way, the one sense beings are extremely miserable. Okay. As in this world, the stone having some base remains. So we already explained this. So this is about one sense. So now we move on to the 2 sensed, 3 sensed, and the 4 sensed. Okay. And the irrational 5 sensed. So we are discussing here 2 sensed, 3 sensed, 4 sensed, 5 sensed, irrational 5 sensed. And the rational, there will be another category. Okay. So Prinalji, you read. In the 2 sensed, from there, miseries of mobile, that is thrust, incomplete sensed souls, and irrational 5 sensed beings. Prinalji, are you there? Unmute yourself. Okay, Subhaji, you read.
Jai Jinendra ji. Here it is too noisy. We have relatives here. So it is too
Okay.
noisy. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you
Okay.
ask someone to? Yeah.
Yes. 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 No problem. So I think Prakash ji, you are there? Okay, Sasikala ji, you only read.
Sir, did you call me, sir?
Yeah.
Sorry,
You,
sir, my internet connection got disrupted for a second, sir.
okay, no problem. You start reading from what's showing on the screen. Miseries of mobile from
Sure.
there.
Miseries of mobile, incomplete sensed soul, an irrational five sense being. In the two sensed, three sensed, four sensed, and irrational five sense forms of bodies also. This jiva experiences miseries similar to those experienced by one sense being. The only difference is that here the jiva obtains successively increased knowledge, perception, and energy related to each sense and attains the power of speaking and moving. Here also the jivas who are aparyapt and even those who are paryapt, possessing weak strength and are smaller beings. All these do not possess much power. And there are many paryapts jivas also possessing lots of strength and are big in size. They possess some power, therefore they try for getting the objects of senses and try for getting rid of miseries out of anger, etc. They indulge in the acts of biting, killing, fighting, deceiving, hoarding, grains, etc., fleeing, etc. They wriggle and cry out of pain, so their sorrow is somewhat visible also. Thus, the worms, ants, etc., jivas are seen extremely miserable due to cold, heat, severing, piercing, etc., and hunger, thirst, etc. One should think over their miseries, which are clearly seen. What more to describe here? Thus, the two sense being, etc., also should be known as extremely miserable.
So these are also extremely miserable because there is no effort possible, you know. They also have this one-way traffic only suffering and suffering. There is rise of karma, there is suffering. Again rise of karma, suffering. No stoppage, nothing. They cannot put in any efforts because they don't have mind. They don't have thinking power. They don't have choices. So very miserable, but they compared to one sense being, these people are able to express, you know, and we can also see them like 3 sensed, 4 sensed, 5 sensed, even 2 sensed being also we can see, you know. So these are but still they are also not able to enjoy their life. They are also extremely miserable. Okay, someone is biting, killing, fighting, deceiving, hoarding grains, fleeing. So they wriggle and cry out of pain. So their sorrow is somewhat visible also. But one sense being we cannot make out also, you know. So the worms, ants are seen extremely miserable due to cold, heat, shivering, piercing, hunger, thirst. One should think over their miseries which are clearly seen. What more to describe here? There is nothing to describe. We can all see that how these people are suffering, you know. You must have seen small ants, you know, and if you block at one place because they don't have eyes. So if you block at one side, they will just move away to other side. If you block from that side, they will move to another side. They want to save their life, but they don't have any means to it, you know. So you just can imagine a person who doesn't have eyes. He is into so much of pain and grief, you know. So these three sensed and four sensed. So three sense being doesn't have eyes. Four sense being do have eyes, and the five sense being can also hear. So even without mind, irrational five sense being, he cannot put in any efforts, but the knowledge is more. So So their sufferings are somewhat less than the one sense being, but still they are extremely miserable. Now we are coming to the main discussion, miseries of rational five-sensed being. So there are four state of existence. In all the four state of existence, this rational five-sensed being exists, the five-sense being with mind. So first one is the hellish being, infernal or hellish being. Their conditions are shown through the same modus operandi would be there, how the 8 karmas are being affected. So that is there. Then we have subhuman state or the Tiryans Gati. It is not only animals, even plant kingdom is also subhuman. So here it is only written animals, so that is not correct. Even the plant kingdom is again in Tiryans Gati. So we were just discussing now Nigod Jeev. That is also a Tiryans Gati Jeev, Then we have human state of existence, and then the last one is the celestial beings. So let's complete this miseries of rational five sense being. The first one, miseries of infernal state of existence. Priyanka ji.
So 1 minute.
89.
Miseries of infernal state. Okay. In the rational five-sensed beings, the inhabitants of hell are extremely distressed in all respects. They have somewhat power of knowledge, but the desire of the objects of senses is too much, and they do not get even a little bit material of favorite objects. Therefore, the possession of that power of knowledge, etc., is also a cause of great misery. Extreme severity of anger, etc., passion is found in them, because they possess black glaciers, etc., inauspicious thought coloration only. The act of causing misery to one another is found there continuously, due to wrath and pride. If they establish friendship with one another, then the sufferings may end. Moreover, by causing pain to others, none of their purpose is served, but vehemency of anger and pride is found more in them, because of which they have tendency to cause only misery to one another by means of vikriya, that is, transformation. They make limbs in the body for causing pain to others, and also make weapons by which they cause affliction to others, and others cause affliction to them. The passion never subsides, and the vehemency of deceit and greed passion is also more in them. But no agreeable material is available there. Hence, they cannot exhibit the act of those passions. Because of those passions, they are extremely afflicted internally. And sometimes, by chance, some object of those passions is also materialized due to some reason. So, shall I continue?
Yes, complete. You complete this.
Okay. Further indulgence in laughter and liking, that is quasi-passions, is also there, but in the absence of external causes, their action is not visible. Rarely on account of some reason, those become visible. And the external causes of disliking, sorrow, fear, disgust, that is the quasi-passions, are found. Therefore, those passions are intensely manifested. And in sex passions, only neuter sex passion is found in them. So the sex desire is great, and the facility of copulation with women and men is not available there. Therefore, they are extremely anguished. In this way, they are extremely miserable because of passions. Moreover, in Vedaniya karma, there exists only the rise of asata, that is, unpleasant feeling producing karma, due to which there exist the causes of various types of agonies. In the body, different diseases like leprosy, cough, asthma, etc., are found together, and hunger, thirst are so intense that they want to eat and drink everything, and the food available is only of clay of that region. And that clay also is of such kind that if it comes here on this earth, then due to its bad smell, the human beings of many miles will die. And cold and heat is such that if there be a round of iron having a diameter of 1 lakh yojana, that is approximately 8 lakhs miles, it will also turn into ashes. At some places there is cold, and at some places there is heat. Further, the land there is full of thorns sharper than even the weapons. The forests in that land are full of leaves, like the edge of weapons. The river is full of such kind of water that on getting its touch the body will split into pieces. The wind is so strong that due to it the body gets scorched. And the infernal beings cause agony in different ways to one another. That is, crush in the oil press, cut into pieces, parch in the big pots in the ovens, beat with whips, touch red hot iron bars, etc. And thus in many ways they torment one another. The Asur Kumar Devs, that is the malevolent celestial beings, go up to third infernal region. They themselves cause pain and make them to fight with each other. In spite of such agony, severance of body is not possible. Even on getting cut into pieces, it rejoins just like mercury. Such extreme agony is there. Further, no object of satha is there. By chance, in some measure, to someone as per his belief, from some point of view, the rise of satha is found, but it is not powerful. There, Ayu or life is very long. The minimum lifetime is 10,000 years and the maximum lifetime is 33 sagas. For such a long period, one has to bear such kinds of sufferings. The rise of only all inauspicious, that is, Pap Prakritis of Namkaram is found there. Not a single auspicious Punya Prakriti is found in the operative state. Due to those Pap Prakritis, they are extremely distressed. And in Gotra karmas, there exists the rise of Neech Gotra, that is low status karma. That is low status karma only. Due to that, they do not get respectability, so also they are extremely miserable only. In this way, one should know that in the infernal state of existence, there are extreme agonies only.
So just imagine, I've shared a film also on this Nigod. It's a 30-minute film. You must see once and you will realize whatever is being written over here, that is being explained in there by way of graphics or something like that. And you will also learn about this in Chardala. You have already done Chardala and you know, no? Do you remember in Chardala? All the four state of existence, the misery suffered in the all the four states of existence has been explained very vividly in Chardala. Okay.
So I think Dhal 1 it is.
Yeah, Dal 1 only, right. Right. So this is the explanation is similar, more or less similar. And I have shared the film also. Now just I want to mark you the karmas. So on page number 90, the first line, they have somewhat power of knowledge. Okay. So here the first and second karmas are included. Jnanavaran and Dashnavaran. Knowledge obscuring, perception obscuring. Then in that same paragraph, second last line, severity of anger, passion is found in them. So 1 and 2 together, the Jnana and Darshan. With knowledge, the Darshan is always before knowledge. Okay. So Jnana and Darshan is included 1 and 2, you write. Okay. And the third one is here, the passions, that is Charitra Moh. So that is the third one. Not there. In the first paragraph itself. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, severity of anger, etc. passion is found in them. So these are the third one. Then the next paragraph is also about passions only. So third one continues in the next paragraph also. And then next two paragraph is all about passions. Okay. So we have already studied earlier also, so I'm not repeating it. Then you can write a note here after they are extremely anguished. Before in this way, you write Antarai karma. Before that, you write Antarai karma. It is not given here, but Antarai karma is there 100%, and because of that, they are not getting anything whatever they desire, So Antarai karma is 100% there. It is not mentioned here, but it is there. Then the next paragraph, moreover in Vedniya karma, that is number 5. So in Vedniya karma, they have only inauspicious Vedniya karma and all the different kinds of diseases, asthma, cough, leprosy, whatnot, they've got enough hunger. So all the bad associations, all the uncomfortable associations they are getting because of this asata vedniya karma. And the next paragraph, this full of asata, and the next paragraph, sata is also mentioned here. So make it asata as 5a and sata as 5b. Both are 5, vedniya karma only. Further, no object of sata is there. By chance, in some measure, to someone as per his belief. So, like you know that the right belief can be achieved in all the 4 states of existence. So here also, there is a scope that one can manifest a right belief. In spite of so much of adversities, still if the soul puts in efforts, okay, he can still manifest right belief. And if he gets that, then sata will all some portion of sata will come. Not the most of the time he will be in sufferings only, but some sata karma will also be there by chance in some measure to someone as per his belief. So if it is right belief, then he will get some sata. Otherwise, so all asata is there. The rise of sata is found, but it is not powerful. Then number 6, ayu karma. Okay, then number 7, nam karma, and then number 8, gotra karma. So all these are auspicious in nature, and because of that, the jeev suffers,
In nature.
extremely agonies or extremely miseries. Now, Tiryanj Gati, subhuman state. So there, animals and plant are all included in this subhuman state. It is called Tiryanj Gati. And Priyanalji, you read.
Miseries of Tiryanj Gati, animals.
Right.
In Tiryanj Gati, many jivas are labdhi aparyapts, undeveloped beings. Their ayu, lifetime, is only 1/18th part of the time of one respiration. And many paryapt, developed beings are also are of very small size, but their power is not visibly seen manifested. These miseries are to be known like that of one sense beings. Knowledge, etc., are somewhat more, and many big size perhaps beings are spontaneously born beings. Many are of uterus birth. In them, knowledge, etc., are found manifested, but they are found agitated by the desire of objects. Among them, many jivas do not get favorite objects. Someone rarely gets a few objects. Owing to Power's faith, they are assuredly having fallacy in tattvas, and passion is chiefly found of intense type. Due to anger and pride, they fight, eat, and cause pain to one another. Due to deceit and greed, they indulge in deceitful acts and desired objects. They indulge in the acts of those passions through laughter, etc. Rarely someone is found having feeble passions, but this happens to only a few jivas. Hence, its predominance is not there. In Vedniya karma, there is chiefly the rise of asata, due to which diseases, anguish, hunger, thirst, piercing, severing, carrying too much load, cold, heat, maiming, etc. conditions are caused. Because of that, they are clearly seen afflicted. Therefore, much is not described here. Rarely someone meets with the rise of somewhat sata, but it is limited to few jivas only. It is not predominant. And the Ayu, lifetime, is found from one Antar Muhurat, less than 48 minutes, to up to crores of years. There, most of the Jivas possess only a very short span of life, age, and hence they suffer from the pangs of birth and death. And the Jivas of enjoyment land, Bhog Bhumi, have a greater span of life, age, and they have the rise of Sata, karma causing pleasure. Also, but those Jivas are limited in number. Moreover, mostly there is found the rise of Tiryanj Gati, etc., inauspicious prakritis of name karma. Rarely someone meets with the rise of few auspicious punya prakritis also. But it is found in lesser measure to some jivas. It is not predominant. And in Gotra karma only, the rise of low status determining karma is found. So they are suffering from lowness. Thus, there is extreme misery in Tiryanj Gati, animals.
So you see, in subhuman state also, the sufferings are extreme sufferings, So page number 92, you can just make out that knowledge, etc. are somewhat more. Okay. So knowledge, etc. would be perception. So 1 and 2 karmas are there in the first 2 lines. Okay. Then, and many big-sized Paryaps beings are spontaneously born. What do you mean by spontaneously born beings? So those without the help of father and mother that gets birth are called spontaneously born, samurchan jeev. Okay. So they automatically develop in the atmosphere also or anywhere. So they don't need male and female sperms to get birth, So those are spontaneously born beings. So we are now just discussing those beings who have mind. This category is full of those beings only who have mind. So there are some Samurchan Jeev also who has got minds. Many are of uterus birth, garbage. Okay. So those are also there. So in them, knowledge, etc. are found manifested, but they are found agitated by the desire of object. So they have got knowledge, perception, but they are agitated by the desire of objects. Among them, many jivas do not get favorite objects. Why don't they get favorite objects? Because of their antarai karma. Okay. So antarai karma is also there 100%. So because of that, they do not get their desired favorite objects. So Antray has been mentioned here. So you mark it as number 4 there. Okay. And then the third one, Moniya Karma, next paragraph. Owing to perverse faith, they are having false belief, and the passion is chiefly found of intense type, Due to anger and pride, they fight, eat, and cause pain to one another. The whole ecosystem, the dog is after the cat, and the cat is after the rat, and the rat is after. So it goes on and on, and put all these things put together, the ecosystem is automatically balanced, So they cause pain to one another due to deceit and greed. They indulge in deceitful acts and desired objects. They indulge in the acts of those passions through laughter, etc. So those are also passions. Now the next one is Vedniya Karma, 5th. Chiefly the rise of asata or inauspicious, due to which disease, anguish, hunger, thirst, so all etc. happens. Sata is also very less, limited to few jeeves only, and it is not predominant. Ayu, that is number 6, lifetime, is found from 1 Antar Murat up to crores of years. So there are some crocodiles in the ocean. That is, the name of that ocean is Lavan Samudra. Okay. So there are huge crocodiles, and their life is crores of years. Their body is also so large, So these are all subhuman state. There, most of the jivas possess only a very short span of life, hence they suffer from the pangs of birth and death. Pangs means sharp pain, painful emotions. Okay. And the jivas of enjoyment land, Bhog Bhumi, have a greater span of life, and they have the rise of Sata, karma causing pleasure also. But those jivas are limited in number. So in Bhog Bhumi, they have got all the kind of good associations, but those are very limited number of jivas. Moreover, mostly there is found the rise of Tiryanj Gati, etc., inauspicious pap prakritis of Nam Karma, physic forming. So they are all subhuman state. So that is because of their Nam Karma. Rarely someone meets with the rise of few auspicious prakritis also of Nam Karma only, but it is found in lesser measure to some jivas. It is not predominant. And the last one, number 8, Gotra Karma, only the rise of low status determining karma is found. So they are suffering from lowness. Thus, there is extreme misery in Tiryanj Gati, animals and plant kingdom all put together. Okay. So this is all. And then the next class we will do human state of existence and the miseries of celestial beings. Okay, these two. And then we will come to the main topic of this chapter, the 4 kinds of desire. Very, very important. And I think I should give this homework to everyone, but there is limitation. So I'll be giving to one of you, but that particular topic, 1, 2, and 3 pages, less than 3. This you have to just by heart, because the chief cause of all our miseries is this desire. And when you know correctly the nature of desire, right, then if you understand it very clearly, then your desires will stop. And the moment your desire stops, you will automatically have you will be able to enjoy eternal bliss. So we will understand this 4 kinds of desire very vividly, and I think we will be able to complete that in our next week. And then bliss of liberation and the means of its attainment, that will be the last topic of this chapter. Okay. So this is very important chapter, considering that Todramalji has tried to show all kinds of mundane existence, what they are suffering through. And this is just to make you aware that if you don't use your time here judiciously, intelligently, then this opportunity will also go, and then you will be suffering in all these 4 state of existence as the misery shown here. So this is very important. Unless and until we show the misery to the Jeev, he is not ready to get into the path of liberation. That's why in Chedala, also in the first Dal, Pandit Daulat Ramji explained the miseries in the 4 state of existence. And some of it here is also there. It's common thing, same thing. And I have shared the video of Narak Gati that you must see, and see that if we manifest such kind of manifestations, then obviously we will bind such kind of karmas, and then we will be born in infernal state being. So we'll continue from next week. Yesterday's class recording I have not shared. I'll be sharing it tomorrow. There are something to be edited, as pointed out by Darshitji. So I thank him for that. And mostly by tonight only I will be loading it. And this lecture, of course, I will be sharing it just now only. Okay, so we end here. Any questions?
Sir, can I ask one question?
Yes, yes.
Sir, so when the babies, when they are conceived in the uterus,
Hmm.
they are so like one sensed beings, or they are like five sensed beings, but less developed. Like which category do they come under?
So they are paryapts, sir. They are paryapts. And as stated by Shashikala ji, that in
Sir,
48 minutes.
Sir, sorry to tell, I shared that article in your mail because I could not download, and I possible I'll share in the group that
Yeah,
Paryapta.
yeah,
I'll share
Paryapt
it.
you share. I will be
Yeah.
also
No,
sharing.
I sent your mail. Just open and see.
Okay.
I'm trying to send it through WhatsApp to our group. I'll send it.
Yes, yes, you
All
send
the
it, and I'll
doubts
be
will
also
go.
sharing some details on paryapts and arparyapts. So the development, the internally it is all developed within 48 minutes, but to come out, like it takes 6 weeks or 8 weeks to, have the, I think 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or it is 10 weeks. Probably it is 10 weeks that fully developed baby is already there in that at 10 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks. So that's why the abortion is, we don't go for abortion, because it's a completely, it's like killing a human being only, So that is what I'll check with the paryaptis, that how it develops. I think what Shashikala ji said is correct. It develops in 48 minutes. But
Yes,
for
sir.
us,
Yes, sir.
to make out the difference, or even for the doctors to,
No. One second. I had a doubt. Can I share a little?
yeah.
See, when according to the karma, it is going to be a paryapta, aparyapta, the jiva, what is happened. If
Hmm.
its ayu is less, it with less ayu, aparyapta, within 3 paryapta completion, it will die off. That is that one. If it is having full lifespan for 100 years like that, means it will have full completion and will have growth, all this will go. So the jiva comes means it will comes as according to the karma, whether it is going to be a paryapta or aparyapta jiva. That jiva's karma status only will decide.
So, so a question here is like, so the person who agrees to, just thinking out loud, like from the bondage and that theory. So the person who agrees to abortion, like, so there's a huge debate, like, I don't want to go into the political part, but then some people say it's right. Some people say it is absolutely you shouldn't go for it. But just like if we think from the jiva's perspective, their ayu was meant to be only that much,
That much.
and the person agreeing to that is just the instrumental cause, no, sir? So
Yes.
would that person
But
still
like,
have bondage of karma?
no, but if it is some medical state, and the diagnosis shows that that this will not survive or something like that, and in that case, if you still carry with that pregnancy, the mother might get affected, or her life might be at risk, then the doctor suggests for abortion. That is a different case altogether. But intentionally to save yourself from the society or some other cases like that, then it's a crime, and the person undergoing through that abortion is responsible for the bondage of those karmas. It is like killing a human being only. So similar kind of bondage will be there, or inauspicious bondage. But if it's some medical condition, then that is a different thing altogether. So that's why we don't go for abortion unnecessarily. Even in Pratman Yug also, like the other day we were uh, going through that story of Panch Pandavas. So Karan was born before marriage,
Yeah.
So that was that case, but she didn't go for abortion, She knew it that I'll not be taken in good stead among the public, but still they went through that delivery, you know. So people were very clear in earlier times, also in present times, also in Jains also we don't go for such things, except for those medical conditions where the survival of the mother itself is at risk, then those cases are exceptions.
So in this case, like, because like in Hinduism or like other faith, like, they say the God is the ultimate, you know, person or like authority who decides
Hmm.
pap tha ya punya tha.
Hmm.
Yeah, like, was it like, worth punishing or not?
Hmm.
In Jainism, when we don't have someone who is like, the creator, destroyer, or the
Hmm.
judgment
Hmm.
giving
Hmm.
like authority,
Hmm.
then, how would they discriminate? Like, this was done like for the reasons that, like, for
So as
example,
I
just
said, no,
suppose,
if you are doing it intentional, then you are responsible, right?
yeah,
But if there is some emergency medical conditions that has come up, so in some cases, you know, the child stops development, or
yeah,
the respiration itself stops. So in those
yeah,
cases, you don't have any choices, no? So
yeah.
those are different. But if you're doing it intentionally, then it's a crime. Maybe it may not be a crime in the laws, in the eyes of the laws, but as far as Jainism is concerned, it's like a murder only.
Okay, sir. Oh, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we meet up next week. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है।